Mr. Reed. Can I come in? Sure, come in. Oh. Hey Jason. Sorry I'm late. I have just got a call from your friend Kevin. I have just had a admission. I'll just admit it. Yeah. Okay, so you're the one who talks to the other government enforcement. So, okay, so that's fine. I didn't know you were having trouble, but the first time, I've never seen you for ages, but you're the one who shot me before. It's not good enough. Well, all I say is, you guys, so you're the one with your friend who never forgives me, so yeah, and unforgiveness. They haven't given you a nothingness. Should be unforgotten, didn't they? Yeah, I see. For the first time now, I don't think there's any more I can do about being to the Alcatraz about a couple of months. Nah, never been that for a whole time, but it's been a whole day to give us some respect. But as you know, there'll be more difference to that one, doesn't it? Yeah, it is. I'm sure if anyone makes you surprised, don't bother me. Well, you're having a relaxation, no temptation, you don't have to be employed. I'll tell you what, there's nothing you can do about that. Well, I wouldn't say if it's not enough, but not returning, aren't they? But the first time, I would have never met you before since like 2 years after the war was ended. Well, ended. Apparently, yeah. But it's already been time for a whole week now. Why don't you just sit down instead of standing? Why don't you just sit down for a bit and have a talk? Sure, yeah. I would do, Jason. But I've got something. There's something I can tell you. So there's something I much to tell you. So Jason, there is something I'll have to tell you about your old friend, Stretch. He was your competitor. He was your SUV competitor. So I haven't seen him for a while, but I haven't seen everyone else that I wouldn't respected to him. So I would remind that everyone else who never seen it before. So I cannot get it. I can't get to it until he was come back to. He came back from Canada, and then he was left this country, America to Canada. But as you know, Jason, it's been a long time to see Stretch. You saw him a long time ago. At the whole time, it'll be no differences. Well, as I say, there's a lot of few things about that, Jason. So the first thing is that I kind of like appealed. I appealed this decision, for the first time. It doesn't really matter, and it's very certified, It's the bestify, justify, something like that. But there's nothing you can tell. But I don't. There's nothing I can do about that. Easily. So at the first time, Jason, there'll be no longer distance. In the whole distance, I think. There's nothing we can do about that. But something I can tell Stretch has left the country. So, alright, so you told Stretch to leave California before earlier. So, Stretch has met John at the airport quarantine. And then both of them went to Canada after they left the country. They left the country. America, they left the America, and they've travelled to Canada. They're gonna stay for the whole year, so sometimes it will never let this happen. It wouldn't done anything to that for a reason. So, Jason, I surprised Stretch's new country is all about Canada. So, you really missed him so much. You know, Stretches was in Canada. I really missed him so much, you know. I've never met him before. One of the Mustangs packing their things to go to Canada, they left the country from America. So I wouldn't notice that, Jason. It only cost about $150 to travel to the Canada. Well, travel to the other country in the airport. Travel to England, travel to France, whatever. I don't think anyone else been to France for some reason. Something like that. And they gave $50 for the whole monthly. When you pay 50 monthly, well, that'll be more time for this, doesn't it, Jason? Well, Stretches felt surprised that he misses you so much. You know, I don't think anyone else would give you that for the information about that, doesn't he? So, yeah. I probably missed that so much, you know. For the first time, it kind of like an individual, but substance is a difference. So, such a chaos, isn't it, Jason? There is no chaos for the whole time. So, at this point, Jason, we lost it again, aren't we? And I say, yeah, that's a problem. And for the first time, it'll be more difference than itself. Yeah. I wonder that's supposed to be, Jason, you know, that the first time he'll be back to America. I don't think he's not going to come back to America, but I don't think he is. But you told him to leave California, and he's travelled to America. Well, he's travelled to Canada. You know, you never been to Mexico, do you? No. Okay then, that's fine. If you don't want to go to Mexico, it's completely up to you. So I surprised that for the whole time for the happens. Well, if I was you, Jason, I wouldn't said if it wasn't me, but nothing's gonna happen to you, but nothing's gonna happen to us. For whose? But not really. But I'm a surprise for the challenge. So for the first time, Jason. But at this point, Jason, we will meet you at some point at this week tomorrow. So I will see you next week. So yeah, and take care of yourself. Are you gonna promise me, Jason, before I leave? Yes, I promise you. You're free to go, mate. But the one thing I've got my money back today. Well, for the first time. It could be more differences to yours, but I wouldn't remember that when I was here if I was you, mate. For the first time, if it doesn't really matter, you can take a change, if you don't mind. Or something like that, you know. There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can else. Do it with an elsewhere, you know, something like that. It'll be more difference to anyone, but there's nothing you can make a deal. You may go. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. Thank you. No problem. Right?